and welcome to the new episode of the Breibelly Knitting Podcast. My name is Isabel. I'm a Belgian knitter and knitwear designer, and I'm one of those knitters who always combines a lot of whips or projects on my needles, and I also love talking about them. So this is the place where I share my works in progress, my finished knits, the yarn acquisitions or other knitting related acquisitions I've made, and I also love talking about my own knitwear designs. Sometimes there are calls for test knitters, which I will share on this channel, and of course I will also keep you up to date about release dates of certain designs. So today is a Friday afternoon, it's a beautiful fall day, and it's the last school day before a week of vacation for my girls. So in a couple of hours I will pick them up from school, and then the peace and quiet in the house will be gone for a week. So it's the perfect timing now to record a new episode. And I'm looking forward to it because I have some beautiful things to show you, or at least I hope you will also like them. I'm pretty new to podcasting. This is only my 4th or 5th, I've already lost count, I'm afraid, episode. So if you feel like you have some suggestions or some comments on the content of the podcast, feel free to let me know. And I also notice, so I'm starting to feel a bit more comfortable doing this, because it is still a bit awkward, me sitting in a room talking to the camera. But I feel very comfortable talking about the knits. But whenever it gets a bit more personal, or I have to share, or I want to share something about myself, then it feels very awkward to me. So I hope you don't mind that the content is mainly knitting related. If there are things you would like to know about me, then feel free to reach out. I also like to know you. If you enjoy the podcast, feel free to leave a message, so then I know who is watching. So what am I going to talk about today? The first thing I would like to talk about is the sweater I'm wearing. This one is my spot sweater by Anna Wenzel. I think this is a pretty famous design, or well-known design. If you don't know it, no problem, of course. This is by Anna Wenzel, a Danish knitwear designer, and it's a sweater which is worked in complete color work. You make these little triangles. You often see it in colors which are more contrasting than mine, so I deliberately chose for a less contrasting effect, because I do like how those two dark colors come together. So I picked this pink and blue combination. It is worked in shetland yarn. Don't know if you know that type of yarn, but I have some skeins left. It's very lightweight. This is like 100% pure unique Shetland wool. It says I bought it at Unling. Unling is a Danish yarn vendor, and I bought the two colors over there, of course. And the blue color, the blue strand, is combined with a strand of silk mohair, which I also purchased at Unling. I don't have it here, but you could use, of course, any type of Shetland wool or a silk mohair wool to combine with. I'm a big fan of Shetland wool. It's such a lightweight and warm yarn, and it has the exactly right amount of fluff which makes it blend nicely together for a color work project. I'm trying to remember if I made other projects with Shetland yarn. There's nothing coming to mind right now, but I did have, last year I did have an idea about a colorwork yoke sweater, and then I was at a yarn fair where I met Greener Wool, that's a yarn shop from Brussels, and they had a lot of beautiful strands of or skeins of Shetland wool or yarn. And so I bought, I think I bought 5 or 6 different colors, and then some more for the main portion of the sweater. These are just a couple of the colors I bought over there. I really love how this feels. It's got this rustic quality about it, and I'm so eager to start some colorwork project with it. The sweater I had in mind unfortunately didn't work out with the yarn. I started working on it, and I did adjust the gauge, or I did adjust the sizing so it would fit the gauge that I obtained. But after I finished the body, it was a bottom-up worked sweater, and then I started knitting a sleeve. I started at the cuff, but it turned out so narrow and didn't really like the effect, and then it got clear to me that the pattern, it was also written for another type of yarn, and it would have been much prettier if I would have used the recommended yarn. I don't have the project here, maybe I can show it to you another time. I didn't frog it yet, but yeah, I think I should. And the result is that I have a lot of beautiful colored Shetland wool lying around. I'm playing with the idea to make, for example, warm water bottles covers with it. With Christmas coming up, it's about time that I start thinking about Christmas presents. So that might be an idea for this one. So what else should I say about this sweater? It's a pretty classically worked top down in the round, and then the yoke is pretty deep, as you can see. And at first I didn't really like that about the design, so after I finished the sweater I didn't wear it a lot because I thought the shaping was kind of different than what I was used to. I also made the sweater pretty short, which in the beginning I regretted a bit not making it a bit longer. But now, after a period in which I didn't wear it a lot, I kind of rediscovered it, and now I kind of like this design feature of the sweater. So I kind of like the drape of it, and it's an interesting and original design. Yeah, so now it kind of grew on me, and I'm pretty happy that I start to enjoy it, because it took me a lot of weeks to finish this one. So it would be very sad if it would just lay around in my closet. So my spot sweater, this will definitely be worn a lot this winter. Well, that's about what I'm wearing. Did I finish some projects the last couple of weeks? I did, but I didn't finish as much as I would normally do. I also finished some projects which were gifts, and then I already gifted them, so I cannot show them to you. But I did talk about them in the previous episode, so if you're curious, you can check it out. But I'm very happy and proud uh, about these two little finished objects, or FOs. These are my two Beascuit hats, and this is a very recent design because it only came out yesterday. So we are now end of October 2023. I made the adult version of it. I made it as a test knit for and now I'm not sure if that's correct, but Marina Storm Designs. It's the first time I work together. I work with this designer, and it was very nice collaboration. The test knits went very smoothly. This is a very easy knit. You use one main color and then you combine it, like the main color is like a DK weight, and then you combine it with a fingering weight strands for the contrast color. And as you can see, you only need 25 grams. Not sure how much that is in ounces, but that's like the equivalent of a mini skein. You only need that for the contrast color, so it's also a perfect stash buster. If you have a lot of fingering weight yarn in your stash, you can perfectly combine it for this project. The test knits came with some yarn supports. I received the white yarn, is like one ball of 50 grams of merino and angora blend, and it was kindly gifted by a yarn shop in France called Laine de Valgaudemar. It's a yarn shop in Les Hauts-Alpes, so in the south of France, and I was very thankful that she sent me this little beautiful ball of yarn. It's super soft and super nice. I'm so in love with it. I finished this one 3 days ago and I've been wearing it non-stop. I will show you how it fits, how it looks. Let me try it on. Yeah, it's completely worked in a broken rib stitch, so that means one row is you knit one purl one, and the next row around you knit all the stitches. So it's a pretty easy project. This is the kids version, so with one ball of 50 grams I could make both hats, and this one I just finished in one evening. So the girls haven't tried it on yet, but after school I will see how they like it. This is the first time I work with angora yarn, and there is a reason for that, because I'm very how do you say that, conscious about animal well-being, and I'm aware that angora yarn is made from the angora rabbits, and it's not always harvested in a good way. So I have to say that I had some doubts about working with this angora yarn, but then it explicitly said that the yarn was harvested with respect for animal well-being. I do hope that's the case, because yeah, I'm very sensitive to that. I'm a vegetarian. I also don't like leather products, for example. So yeah, it felt a bit double, but if, like has been stated, the yarn has been harvested in a respectful way, yeah, then I'm totally in love with this beautiful ball. Well, yeah, so we have some two new favorite hats for winter, and I'm really looking forward to wearing them a lot. So I think that's everything you need to know about these two beauties. If you're wondering which contrast yarn I've been using, well, these are merino singles by La Bien-Aimée. That's a French yarn dyer, and she makes beautiful yarn. I showed these merino singles in the last episode because I purchased them as a bundle for the Scout shawl, and the Scout shawl is a shawl that I showed, or the pattern at least I showed last time, and I was very eager casting on that time. So I did cast it on. I will show you at once, but there was one skein in this yarn bundle, this one, and the color seemed so perfect to me for this Beascuit hat. So I looked up in the Scout shawl pattern if I would require all the yarn, and I could use these 25 grams for the head, so I was very happy. So actually I'm using these scrap yarns before I finished the project. Also these merino singles, it's such a soft yarn, so it's blended perfectly with the merino angora blend. And for the small head, I also took another one from the bundle. I thought, yes, then they are really matching and they're from the same yarn family. And I used this pink one, also a merino single by La Bien-Aimée. Now for the Scout shawl, if you are curious, that has been the project which has given me a lot of satisfaction the last couple of weeks. So this is it. I casted it on, and from last episode you remember maybe that it's a long shawl. You start working here at the tip, and then you work in different sections. So I now started only the second section, but there are a lot of sections to come. And at the end, then you make some decreases. Oh, Noah is here. That's my cat. Hello, Noah. He might come and sit with us. And then you make some decreases again, and then you bind off at the other tip of the shawl. So this is quite the piece of art, and it also requires a lot of attention, or you need some brain space to work on this. Not really for the stranded color work. So this is all made in these merino singles that I showed you before, but as you can see, there's a lot of it's not only stranded color work, but you also work the colors in intarsia. So what is intarsia? It means that you switch colors without taking the strands with you at the back side of your work. So each time you encounter a new color, then you just twist the yarns, then you work the stranded color work, then you arrive here, you twist the yarns of both colors, and then you continue this chart, and then here again you twist your yarns. But it means that you have to juggle a lot of balls, and that now after arriving at this spot, I'm already quite used to, or I'm in a routine, but at the beginning it really was a lot of untangling or managing the balls, and in the beginning, especially when you have very short rows, then you feel like you're more occupied with managing your balls or your skeins than the knitting. But now when the rows get a bit longer, I think I only need this much longer for the increases, and then I can work the rows just straight without increasing or decreasing. So the rows get pretty long, and then the main focus is on the knitting as it should be. So and most satisfying about this project is that you can, like, the next section is always nearby. So now I'm very eager to finish this one because I think I have this much left, and then there's a new section starting here. I also love the colors. So as I said, I purchased these in a yarn bundle as they had a promotion for free shipping. Really love how this feels. I never worked before with these merino singles, but I did read, or I did know that it was these are perfect for shawl knitting and especially color work knitting. So I'm really happy I did this. And my Beascuit hats, both Beascuit hats, they will already be matching the scout shawl when it's done. Although I think this will take me a couple of more weeks to finish. So this about my scout shawl. Did I make some progress on some other projects? Yes, and a very exciting one for me. This is one of my newest design idea, and this is the Sunbeam Sweater. So also with some yellow neon colors. That seems like a favorite of mine this season. I really like colors, or I really like color pops or flashy colors in my knits, and this one really this one falls perfectly into the category. The Sunbeam Sweater, I talked about it last episode as well, I think, and now I finished the body, but I tried it on, made some pictures. It's pretty, it looks really well. I'm very happy with how it looks, but I feel like the hem is not stretchy enough. It's worked with a twisted rib, so the twist of course makes it a bit less stretchy. And I did a tubular bind off, but nevertheless it doesn't have the stretch that I would have liked it to have. So I will rip this out, and I will find a new way to work the hem. The hem and the neckband are worked with a needle size that's 1 millimeter smaller than the sweater itself, because I really like the contrasts between this. So, but I might have to give that up for the hem and make the hem in a needle size that's a bit bigger, just to give it a bit more stretch, so it's more comfortable to wear and to put it on and pull it out. So yes, it's completely worked in brioche stitch. I thought before I started it, I thought this would be a real challenge, but I haven't made any capital mistakes, so I didn't. I did some ripping in the beginning, there's some short row shaping, and in the beginning it didn't turn out the way I wanted it, so then I had to rip back. But once I was into the flow of knitting this, then it went pretty smoothly. It went a lot more smoothly than I had anticipated. Now it's time for the sleeves, and the sleeves will have some decreases in the same way that these increases are made. So it's pretty much the same idea behind it as my striata sweater and striata top, if you know these designs. So they also have traveling increase lines. You start making increases along these lines at first, and then once your halfway or a bit further on the yoke, then you move your increase lines and you start making increases um, on a different in different places. So that's the same as the striata sweater and the striata top. The striata sweater is one of my designs which is going through test knitting right now. As I talked a lot about it in the previous episodes, I chose not to discuss it in this episode, but feel free to look for it in the other episodes. And of course, the pattern release is planned for the end of November, so there's a good possibility that in the next episode I will talk a lot about it, as the timing will be quite the same. Okay, so that was the Sunbeam sweater. I think this is it for this week. I don't have any other works in progress which I like to discuss. I've been making some swatches, but it's all too premature to show you. So I hope you enjoyed this content. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to ask. And yes, as fall is progressing, I hope you also get a lot of knitting time or a lot of cozy evenings by the fire with your knitting. And yes, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!